I don't know how this is not front page on every single Tesla website. I found 6 brand new features I've not even talked about in any other of my 200 videos. Let's get into new details of the Project Highland in this video. Another deep dive, I scoured the internet to try to find more information on the Project Highland. What is happening? Apparently, every single weekend in Giga Shanghai, this new refreshed version of the Model 3 has already been testing. We've seen this Project Highland under wraps driving around in California, and some features have already been leaked supposedly with brand new headlights and taillights, but there's so much more. So this has already been tested in Shanghai, but also there's a big change happening. Automation, and this has to do with price. So I want you to listen to this. Recently, there are 2 phases on the production line in Shanghai called Phase 1 and Phase 2, with a brand new phase called 2.2. Now, apparently, just recently, Shanghai has been rumored to lay off or planning to lay off 50% of these employees in the battery assembly line in Phase 1. But what does this all mean and how does it relate to the price? So we're going to talk about 6 new features that are coming to the Project Highland. I've never heard about these, so I'm going to introduce them to you. But laying off 50% of people means automation, and that has to happen if we're going to keep this price anywhere near what it is now, but add these 6 key features. Feature number 1, one of the biggest complaints of the Tesla Model 3 is the cargo space, and I for the first time read that a hatchback may be coming to the new Project Highland. And a bonus feature, this brand new photo I have never seen before is apparently pointing out some of the key features, which leads us into point number 2, an even longer front of your Model 3. So this one is a big one that could solve one of the biggest complaints for Model 3 users. I know it's one of my biggest complaints as a driver. This photo implies there may be a higher suspension coming soon. Point number 4 has everything to do with the safety of you and your friends and your family in your Project Highland. And I'll tell you right now, I am no battery expert, but I've combed the internet to try to understand this. Let's get into point number 4, has everything to do with the battery. And by the way, if you are ordering a Model 3, Y, or any other Tesla, make sure to order the best accessories in the links down in the description. If you can click those links and buy your accessories, it supports the channel, which I would greatly appreciate. Let's get back to the next point. In my last video, I talked about the brand new M3P battery that is said to give you at least a 10% boost, or the equivalent of 30 or more miles on your rear-wheel drive Model 3. But this new battery pack is called also the structural battery pack, but here's the important part about that. This new battery pack is said to be coming in a new structural battery pack format. We've seen this already in the Model Y, but this is the important part. It is called the CTP battery. That stands for Cell 2 Pack. So it's a much condensed format of your batteries. It's more structurally sound, making it safer. Your Project Highland is going to have a brand new battery that adds manganese. This is added to the LFP battery, allowing it to be the longest lasting battery that Tesla has ever made. So for everybody that says, well, what are you going to do when your battery dies? This is the answer to that, their longest, best battery. Here is the next point. This new Project Highland is said to have a new drive unit. And no longer, we've heard this on other calls with Tesla, this new battery will have no rare materials. We've heard this information announced on Tesla calls by Elon and his team, eliminating rare earth minerals. Thus, sustainability is a huge focus for Tesla. So your new drive unit will eliminate those rare earth materials if this is to come to fruition. I just want to sneak in here and say I'm trying to do this full time. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, or if you are a subscriber, thank you. Let's move on. This one I highly anticipate on arriving to your Project Highland. Something I don't think I've ever talked about is a new enhanced sound system. I will tell you, as someone who owns a rear-wheel drive, my brother owns the Performance Model Y, and those performance vehicles have a boosted, better sound system with more speakers. Well, now it seems like Tesla is listening to its rear-wheel drive drivers and enhancing your sound system. So this one is something I wish I had on my Model 3. It has been reported that this new Project Highland will use front and rear castings. So these castings eliminate a lot of parts, making your Model 3 even more structurally sound. We've seen this strategy on the Model Y already, and apparently now that strategy of using castings is coming to the Model 3 Project Highland. Lastly, I want to talk about price and when can you order this Project Highland. Well, I reported in the last video, sources out of Shanghai are hinting that this will come into production in Q3 September time of this year, but there's more. More information as I read into these timelines even further. September time seems like a realistic time frame, but some of the construction workers there in Shanghai apparently are saying that this could go late into the fall. So I want to make sure you know when this happens and how much that price is going to be. So what is the price going to be? I expect there to be some layoffs in the phase 1 battery assembly line, because the only way that they're going to add all of these features, and don't forget the headlights, the new tail lights, RGB lighting inside the Tesla, ventilated seats, and more, the only way they're going to give you more features is to automate. So that is Tesla's strategy, to keep cost as low as possible. I expect this price to be very close to what it is right now. I would expect maybe a $500 to $1,000 increase. I've said it before months ago, I'll say it now. I think based on what we're seeing being done with the shift to automation, it could keep the price very much the same. Will you get a $7,500 tax credit for eligible buyers on this new Project Highland? I fully expect this Model 3 to qualify, and we can get some hints on this if the price is going to be the same, as long as it's under $55,000 and the battery components and minerals, remember, meet those requirements, which I think they will. This car will fully qualify. So will that be true? Is the price going to be the same? And when can we order this thing? And will it have a hatchback and ventilated seats and everything else that we talked about? Make sure to stick around. This is an ongoing saga. I don't know when the next change is going to happen, and I don't want you to miss it, so make sure to subscribe. The only way I know that you like these videos is to drop a like. Again, this is Matt from Frunk to Trunk. We will see you in the next video.